Hello, in this video we'll be looking at how to use an ESP32 board to read data from a DHT11 sensor and how to display that data on a small OLED screen. What you'll need for this will be the ESP32, DHT11 and the OLED. You'll also need some breadboard and also a bunch of jumper wires. Here we have everything assembled on the breadboard. So the DHT11 power goes to 3.3 volts on the ESP, ground goes to ground. Then we have the output pin, which goes to pin number 14. On the OLED, power and ground go to power and ground, and then we have the SEL pin, which goes to pin number 22 on the ESP, and the SDA pin goes to pin number 21 on the ESP. And now let's connect it to the Arduino IDE and let's get coding. Okay, so we got a new sketch here in the Arduino IDE. Make sure that you have the board and the port selected. So let's just connect the board. And now it should show up. So what we're going to do first is we're going to include some of the libraries. So we'll have to do include, so we'll use the wire.h library. After that, we're going to use the Adafruit GFX library. After that, we're going to have the Adafruit SSD1306 library. Adafruit SSD1306. And lastly, we're going to have the DHT library. Okay, so those are the libraries that we're going to need for this project. Make sure that you have them in your Arduino IDE already. What we'll have to do next is we're going to define some pins. So we'll start by doing define OLED reset, and we'll set this as -1. Then we're going to define the pins for the DHT sensor. So we'll do define DHT pin, and we're using pin 14 for our ESP board, and we'll do define DHT type, and this is DHT11. So we let the board know what DHT sensor we are using. Okay, so now we're going to do something for the display. So we have Adafruit SSD1306 display, and then we need to put the width and the height of the display. So we have ours is 128 pixels by 64. That's going to tell the board what type of display we're using. I'll do wire and OLED reset. Okay, so one more thing that we need to do here is to tell the board about the DHT sensor. So we do DHT, and this is DHT pin and DHT type. Okay, so this is the first part of the code. Next, we're going to sort out the setup function. So we will start by initializing our serial monitor. So we'll do serial.begin, and we're going to do a 9600 baud for this one. We'll initialize the DHT sensor, so we do DHT.begin. And then we're going to initialize the display. So for this, we're going to do an if function. So we have if display.begin, And then we'll type the type of display that we have. So it's SSD1306 underline switch cap DCC, and then the address of the display, which normally should be 0x3C. That's normally the address for those types of displays. And if if the board does not detect the display, we're going to do serial.println, and this is going to tell us in the serial monitor that the board has failed to find the display. So we'll type unable to connect to display. So we'll get this this error message. And let's close this if function. Next, we're going to do display.display. We'll do a delay. I'll say 2 seconds for this one. And then display.clear. Okay, so what we got here in the setup function is we're initializing the serial monitor. We're initializing the DHT sensor. And we're going to sort out initializing the display. And if the board can't connect to the display, then it's going to print us a little error message in the serial monitor. Okay, so next, what we have to do is to read the temperature and the humidity from the sensor and to have that being displayed on our screen. So what we're going to do first is we're going to set up some variables for the temperature and the humidity. So we'll do some floats. So we have float, humidity. This will be DHT.read humidity. And then we'll do the temperature. So we'll do again a float. Temperature, and this is going to be DHT.read temperature. Okay, so we got, now the board will read the temperature and the humidity from the sensor, and it's going to store those values into those variables that we made here. Okay, so let's make a function, well, or not a function, let's make a statement that will tell us in the serial monitor if there is anything going wrong with the sensor itself. So to do that, we're going to do a if loop, and we're going to do I, S, and A, N. We'll do humidity. And after that, we'll do an OR, ISAN, temperature. And then we'll do serial print. And we're going to type in failed to connect read from DHT sensor. And we'll do a return after this one. So what this statement will do is, if the board can't read the humidity or the temperature from the sensor, is going to print out this error. So this will tell us that there is something going bad with the sensor, and either we need to check up the wiring or we need to use a different sensor because the one that we're using is faulty. Okay, the next part is going to be actually displaying those values on the OLED screen. So we'll do display, clear display. Then we're going to set up the text size. So we'll do display set text size. And we're going to set this as number 2. Thus, we're going to sort out the text color. So display dot set text color. Do SSD1306 white. This won't matter that much in the display we're using because this display only has blue and yellow text colors, but you can use this if you have a more advanced display that can actually display colors. So you use this to set your what your text color should be. Then we're going to set up the position of the text. So we do display set cursor, and this is going to be pixel 0 and 0. Next, we are going to actually read the values and then display them on the screen. So we'll do display.print, and here we're going to type temp. This will be for temperature. We're going to do display.print, and we'll do temp, which is we'll call on the variable that is storing the reading from the DHT sensor. So this is going to show up right after the temp text. And then we'll do display.print, and we're going to say C from Celsius. Okay, we will have to do the same for temperature. So we'll just copy paste those here. Sorry, for humidity, we're going to copy paste those here. We'll do humidity, and this is humid, and this will be in percentages. So again, same as temperature, we're reading the humidity variable, which is read from the sensor by the board. And then we'll do display, and we'll do a little delay. We'll do another 2 seconds, and this is the entire code. So what have we done here is we sorted out the libraries at the beginning of the code. We set up the pins for the display and for the DHT sensor. We told the board what type of sensor we're using. We've initialized some values for the display and for the sensor. Here we initialized the serial monitor, we initialized the DHT sensor. We did make a little function that will give us an error in the serial monitor if the display has failed to connect. After that, in the loop function, we did sorted out 2 variables for the humidity and for the temperature. Those will be read by the board and stored under those 2 variables here. Then we made a little function which tells us if the board can't read the humidity or the temperature from the sensor, it's going to give us a little error message on the serial monitor. And after that, we're going to initialize display again and try to print out those values. So let's upload this code to the board, and let's see if this is going to work or not. Okay, and we got this little error here because we only put clear and not clear display, and this should now be fine and working properly. Okay, it's all working, and now it's uploading to the board. There we go. Okay, so it uploaded everything to the board, and we do have a reading on the OLED display. Text is a little bit misaligned, but we can work on making it prettier later. So if I put my hand over the sensor, now the humidity and temperature should start going up. There we go. So we jumped from 28 to 28 and a half, and the humidity jumped from about 40 something to 71 now. And if I take my hand off the sensor, now the temperature and the humidity should start dropping. So that the humidity is dropping and the temperature is dropping as well. So yeah, that's how you use an ESP32 to read values from a DHT sensor and to use an OLED display to show up those values. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of those types of tutorials from me, and see you in the next video.